And coming up next, we got a pretty low-level fight, AJ Fletcher versus Themba Gorimbo. Gorimbo's making his UFC debut here, and Fletcher's trying to avoid going 0-3 in the UFC and getting cut. And I think they're trying to give AJ Fletcher a victory, but it's kind of hard to say. I mean, my personal opinion, I don't see Themba Gorimbo being a UFC-level fighter. He is 4-1 in his last 5 fights, but he's already 32 years old, and I just don't know. I don't see him having a huge future in the UFC, or I don't really know why he got brought in personally. But he seems very confident. I mean, you see him on Twitter, saying Mamba mentality, holding the belt. And a lot of times, I mean, you know what happens when people hold the belt before their debut. It's bad luck a lot of the time. But he seems to have that mojo, that confidence that he's going to come in here and start running things. And AJ Fletcher, he was undefeated before joining the UFC. He had that killer corner with Mike Brown, Dustin Poirier, and a lot of backing, but just hasn't produced. He had that really nasty KO with the flying knee, but his 2 fights in the UFC just has not looked very good. He had a decent performance against Matthew Semelsberger, but his last fight, he just kind of got dominated a little bit, and it was an unimpressive performance as a favorite. And he's a favorite again here, and I think this one is a more winnable fight because when I look at Themba Gorimbo, I just don't really think I don't know. His style is not the best to me. On the feet, he is long and rangy. He's going to have a big reach advantage, which, almost all AJ Fletcher's opponents have against him. But Gorimbo is fairly fast, and he'll hit some pull counters. His striking, he seems not that confident in it, though, because his defense isn't the best, and you could tell that he doesn't react the greatest getting hit. I've seen him get rocked even in victories. I've seen him get hurt pretty badly in fights, and seems like he doesn't have the best chin or the best defense. And his offense is low volume, kind of sparing. He tends to want to try to wrestle offensively, but his wrestling seems pretty low level. Like, he's able to take down some of these lower level opponents that he's been facing and ground and pound him to victories. But I don't necessarily, even though AJ Fletcher's takedown defense doesn't really make me go wow or anything like that, I don't think he's going to be able to take down Fletcher, and his takedown defense is weak. Like, he could get taken down pretty easily. I feel like in this fight he might try to come out quick and get the knockout, because I don't know if he's going to, if he does go with that grappling route trying to hit takedowns and control on top, I think Fletcher's just going to sprawl him out or take him down first and beat him. I think his best chance to win is just to pressure and try to get that early KO. With AJ Fletcher, we've seen that, his stature, having a 67-inch reach at 170 pounds, really limits his striking ability. He struggles to get inside and can get kicked, kept on the outside with long strikes up the middle and just beat up a little bit. But he is very explosive, and when he can get inside, he can throw big power. We've seen him land those flying knees and big knockout strikes like that too. So his striking is formidable, especially in a fight like this, because if he can close the gap and touch the chin of Gorimbo, I think that he could hurt him. I think he has that power. And I also believe that Fletcher is the more durable fighter. I think he's faster, more explosive. So I think the striking could be a little bit more competitive for Fletcher in this one, even though I don't think he's going to want to strike long term. I think the easiest game plan would be to use what brought him to the table here, and that's getting the takedowns, controlling on top. We saw him against Matthew Semelsberger navigate a tall guy that I think is a lot more polished than Themba Gorimbo, get him down several times, control him on top, and he ended up losing that fight. He got a little bit tired. He did get beat up, but once again, like I said, I think that Matthew Semelsberger is a lot better than Themba Gorimbo is, and I think that Fletcher's wrestling is just overpowering in the matchup. I think that he's going to be able to take down Gorimbo, control him on top, and Gorimbo didn't really show me much off of his back to make me think that he's going to be able to handle Fletcher, get up from bottom, or do anything like that. And I just think Fletcher's going to be able to win this one. So I'm going to go with AJ Fletcher by decision. I think he could win by first round knockout too if he just catches him early, if Gorimbo comes in and tries to make it a firefight. And I think Fletcher knows that his back is against the wall here. He has that backing. He needs to win. And I think he has the goods to get the job done in this particular matchup. Going forward in the division, I don't really know. But I think he's going to get past Themba Gorimbo here. And I'm going to say AJ Fletcher wins by decision.